Welcome to the Operation Greatness podcast. This show is off the charts important. I want you to take notes on this. I want you to pause regularly, reflect on what I'm saying, post your thoughts about it, and in each post, link back to this podcast show. This is our Operation Greatness chapter meeting for today, and it's the most important chapter meeting that we've ever had. So, welcome to our chapter leaders. This is through operationgreatness.com/leader. I suggest you are going to want to make sure that you are leading your own Operation Greatness chapter, and by that I mean you're going to, from hearing this message, which is imperative for every human on the planet to hear, to recognize, to take action, you're going to understand all of this as we continue this conversation, because we are raising humans in this podcast. So you're going to hear this yourself. You're going to post about this yourself, because this is the message imperative for every one of us to hear, to take action, to protect ourselves, to save ourselves. This is literally, you've heard other shows, even my own shows, our other Operation Greatness podcasts, our Operation Greatness chapter lessons each day are life-transformational. This Operation Greatness podcast is life everlasting. It's everlasting life transformational. I'm serious. This is on an order of magnitude of greater importance for every one of us to hear, to take action, to take to heart, and to protect ourselves and to save everyone we love from decades more or lifetimes more of pain and suffering. I'm going to explain all this. You're going to understand this very, very clearly. So, first of all, if you don't know me yet, I'm the author of Reignited America, and I'm going to read a section from here which is part of how we are raising humans. First, let's go into some context here. I'm also the founder of operationgreatness.com. And you are going to want to lead your own chapter, because you're going to hear this message and you're going to think, wow, everyone needs to know about this. Everyone needs to see this. And you're going to see it as part of being in my Operation Greatness chapter through operationgreatness.com/leader. And so you're going to know that every one of your online friends, you are going to transform their lives. And this is also you giving them everlasting life transformation. And anyway, let's get right into this, because this is so huge. And by the way, I'm recording this on Inauguration Day, on the day President Trump is scheduled or set to be sworn in as the 47th President of the United States of America. This marks a new era in the world with his leadership and with all of us. I mean, I've said this for months now, I don't know, before the election for sure, all during the campaign season, before America can be great again, I have to make my life great, and I have to help you make your life great. You have to make your life great and help everyone connected with you, all of whom you are blessed to be able to serve. You have to help them make their lives great. We're all in this together, and you will understand this so much deeper than you did before you heard this Operation Greatness podcast, Raising Humans. Okay, so are you ready? You're taking notes here. I mean, this is very, very serious. This is life everlasting transformational. It's not just life transformational. I'm getting chills here. Okay, so you're ready, you're taking this to heart, you're receiving this completely, and you're realizing this will change the course of your whole life, and this is changing the whole course of human history by you hearing this and by you being that inspired visionary leader it is your destiny to be. I'm very sincere about everything I'm saying here, and you will understand that implicitly, and you will know how this is the message every one of us is destined to hear, and you're going to be the person sharing it with everyone you can reach. Everyone, and that means in your local area through your Operation Greatness chapter that you are leading, as well as all your online friends, and you're going to actively lead every one of your online friends through doing this podcast through your chapter, where they're going to lead their own chapters as a result of hearing this and taking it to heart wholeheartedly. All right, so I have this woman. I thought we were friends, but she unfriended me on Facebook for some reason. I don't know why. And I mean, I've even invited her to church with me, and I thought we were, I don't know, I like her, I respect her. She's been sharing videos with me, messages with me for, I don't know, since 2016 maybe, or 2015, about the deeper stuff happening in the world. That was, like, I'm so grateful for her. She's the one who is responsible for me being awake to the stuff happening in the world. Like, who was that person in your life? I hope you appropriately appreciate and thank them and love them and respect and honor them. You know, I've been doing my best, like this book, Reignited America, to help people understand the deeper truths in the world. Well, this woman has been sharing with me videos from, I think of it as like a dad and his son. And I guess I don't know for sure that the younger gentleman is his son. I think he said it was his son. Anyway, it's called Farsight, and we're going to reference them shortly. Their information is... Okay, well, anyway, I saw a video from them, and I think it did come from this same woman. She still sends me messages on Facebook. I don't know what happened, why she unfriended me, whatever. That's her thing. I don't care. I mean, that's none of my business. Why would I play into that drama of, whatever? That's her stuff, I guess. Anyway, I saw this message from Farsight, this group, and a few days, maybe this was about a week ago, and they were talking about, their context is extraterrestrial, alien, ET life, non-human life, and they were talking about, this guy who's I thought of him as the father, and I thought of the other guy as his son. Anyway, he's the founder of Farsight. He just casually referenced something called the death trap, and he just shared how when you die and you see that tunnel of white light, and we've all heard about this tunnel, right? He's saying, don't go into that tunnel of white light. Don't do that, because that's actually the death trap. And, you've probably heard people who have had near-death experiences talk about this, or you've done your work. And by the way, so let's take a pause from here. As with everything you hear, everything, including what I'm telling you right now, check yourself. Does this feel right to me? And make sure that you are using your power consciously, mindfully, purposefully. You're remaining in your center. You're not feeding your fear. This is really important here. You're not feeding your power to your fear. Okay, so let's step back a moment here, and I'll give you a little more context from my perspective on this. Like, I started to have my lotus flower awakening at age 13 and receive this as the gift of love. This is helping you open your lotus flower if it hasn't happened yet. So receive this directly within your being, your presence, your heart. It's called Hridaya, Hridaya, H-R-I-D-A-Y-A, something like that in Sanskrit. It's really the cosmic heart, the universal heart is within you. That's a tangent. You don't have to go into that. This is just a gift of love to you right here. So receive that joyfully, gratefully if you want. Whatever you resonate with. Anyway, so where you give your attention, you are giving your power. That becomes how you are creating your life and how we collectively are creating our world. Nothing matters more than where you are choosing to give your attention, because that is what you are empowering and creating. That's your fundamental responsibility as a human, as a creator. You are a conscious creator. Actually, what I'm here to share with you is you are the consciousness creator. You are the consciousness keeper for the human race. You, my friend, are the consciousness creator for the human race. You are the person, you are the leader of collective consciousness. Your responsibility is to only give your attention to what gives you joy, inspires you, and moves you closer to your goals, desires, and dreams. Knowing that with that being 100% of your focus, everything in your life is aligned with that chosen focus. That's priority number one for you, your goals, desires, and dreams. I call this your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma. This is why you are here. It's what you're here to achieve, create, enjoy, fulfill with your life. This is your work to do, how you are being of greater service to more people. That means everything to you. Nothing matters more than you fulfilling that, because that is your purpose. It's your reason for being. So make sure this is your fundamental responsibility. Make sure you are using your power wisely, thoughtfully, purposefully every moment of your life, and that you have mastered how you are creating your life and how we are creating your world, with you leading how we are creating our world. Did you hear that fully? This is your responsibility as the consciousness creator. No, as the consciousness keeper. You are the consciousness keeper for our human family. You are responsible for every moment, for every thought you are choosing to hold in your awareness. Every thought is serving your purpose, your mission in life, your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma. Nothing matters more than that. You know that. And you have that inner truth detector system. It's like your GPS. You know the way forward. We'll talk about this shortly as well, or in this conversation. We have a lot to talk about here, because this is imperative for every one of us to hear and to live our lives appropriately, being responsible as the consciousness keeper you are for you to really hear this message. So, this is as I'm recording this, in about an hour and 50 minutes. No, actually, or really, it's 50 minutes from now. President Trump is scheduled to take the oath of office and become the 47th president of America. This is more than just symbolic or an interesting coincidence. No, this is the new era in human history. Especially, yes, with him at the national stage or the world stage, him being the leader of the free world, and yet you being the leader of yourself and fully stepping into your role as consciousness keeper. This is your primary responsibility. You're keeping your power focused on purpose, you, my friend, on fire with creating, living, fulfilling your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma, not giving any of your attention, your power, your life force to anything you don't want. And we're going to talk, you're going to understand how important this is, how this is the most fundamental duty you have, because you need your power to create and live and honor and fulfill and achieve your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma. And that's the most important duty you have. That's the fundamental responsibility you, especially you as consciousness keeper, because every one of us are connected. You've heard of the word collective consciousness, and I think of that as like you as an individual, you are God's gift to the world. Your life is God's gift to you. You look at my other podcasts, I've done a couple, I think, maybe 3 references to that in other podcasts. And I think that's at operationgreatness.com/podcast, the link to my other podcasts. Anyway, okay, so your life is God's gift to you. What you do with your life is your gift to God. You're God's gift to the world, and you're God's instrument for miracles in the world. Just hearing that and recognizing that shifts everything in your whole life. That's what I'm talking about here in our Raising Humans podcast as your role as consciousness keeper. And I did a whole show, I think, on consciousness keeper, being a consciousness keeper as well. And by the way, when you're leading your own Operation Greatness chapter through operationgreatness.com/leader, you are a consciousness keeper. And at the top of every hour, if you want, it's available to you. You can tune in to all of us consciousness keepers and just go back to your purpose, your duty, your destiny, your reason for being, and just feed that your power, just to make sure at the top of every hour we're getting together energetically, and you're part of that, and you can go into there every hour if you want. At the top of the hours when we're doing that as a consciousness keeper. Okay, so I was giving you a little more broader context here. I had my lotus flower began opening, and here's another one for you to receive, when I was 13 years old. And since that time, I began doing the work, and yet it was, like when The Secret movie came out, the movie called The Secret, I was already teaching this stuff at that time, I don't know, in 1991, I think it was, I began subliminal programming and, affirmations. I started in the personal growth world in 1984, I guess. But I became a coach in 1999. My first book, I guess I don't have that here to share with you. I could walk over there and get it, but it's called Experience Unconditional Love this year. And this was, I was a journalist I was a newspaper reporter for 6 years, an assistant managing editor for 4 years. But then my first book came out of me, shall we say, and that was called Experience Unconditional Love this year. And that led me into, I was a relationship coach out of that experience. But I found that people were so fixated on money, they were so in scarcity, fear, lack consciousness, that they couldn't even think about love, because, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, survival, if you're in survival need, if you're in scarcity, fear, lack, you can't even think about like the higher values such as love. So I shifted to where people were, which was money. I started teaching Think and Grow Rich at the master's level back in 2003. And if you don't know Think and Grow Rich, well, I'll walk you through that with your chapter. By you leading your own chapter, I'm going to walk you through our Think and Grow Rich workshop, where the first lesson, class 1, the beliefs class that we're doing right away, our first day through operationgreatness.com/leader, I'm going to walk you through writing down your Think and Grow Rich alchemy process statement. This is how you're transmuting your desire into riches. Anyway, we're going to do that for the next 30 days. Think and Grow Rich, if you're unfamiliar with it, it's responsible for creating more wealth than anything in history. Until now, because all of us coming together through Operation Greatness, we're changing that. And you're going to understand how important this is for you to do as you are leading, inspiring, transforming, and liberating LITL, doing a little more today. In being of greater service, you're leading, inspiring, transforming, and liberating everyone you are blessed to have connected with you online, all of whom you are serving as much as you can. And there's no limit to that. You're even in your community. Anyway, so I've been doing this since, at the master's level, I've been teaching Think and Grow Rich since 2003. And yet, that's about the power of your focus. Where you are giving your attention, you are giving your power. That's how you are creating your life. That's how we are creating the world. Nothing matters more than that. That's the one thing over which you have total control. Like Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill wrote that book. He says that it was Andrew Carnegie, who was then the richest person in the world, asked him to devote the next 20 years of his life to studying the richest, wealthiest people in the world and compiling, seeing how they became that level of success. And he did that. He created the success philosophy, the 13 things that they were doing that mostly the unsuccessful masses are not doing or don't even know about. Anyway, so this is imperative as part of you living your full life. Remember, everything is about you making your life great and helping everyone connected with you making their lives great. This is what we're all stepping up and doing now, not playing small at all. So anyway, I've been doing this for a long time, and then when I heard this Farsight episode or show or video talking about the death trap, and so I asked this woman who's been sharing these videos with me what she knew about this, and she didn't respond, whatever, okay. But then I asked somebody else about this, a new woman I've been connecting with her on Facebook, and she shared with me the answer to that question, because she's been, actually, you know how synchronicity works? Where two people are, this is what the mastermind principle is that Napoleon Hill gives us as part of Think and Grow Rich. Anytime two or more people, like-minded people, come together in a spirit of harmony and cooperation, they create what is called the mastermind, where 1 + 1 is not 2, it's 11, where the sum of the parts, the two people, the people in mastermind cohesion is what I call it, they create something far greater. This is what you as a consciousness keeper are, and this is what all of us as collective consciousness are part of, And this is what raising humans is all about, because we are raising the frequency of our whole human family right here through this Operation Greatness podcast. You're raising your frequency, and you are raising the frequency of the whole human collective consciousness. So I heard this reference to the death trap, don't go into the light, and I wanted to know more about this because I just had this inner knowing, wow, this is something important for every one of us to recognize, to not go into that death trap. So let's talk about this here right now, just because I want to make sure that I cover this, because I do want to watch the swearing in of President Trump with his right hand on the Bible, and in 39 minutes from now. Anyway, so the death trap. I don't know how much time I'm going to have to read this to you. I'm going to reference the full information that this new woman with whom I've been sharing or kind of connecting on Facebook, she shared with me this link that gives extensive research about that. And I guess I'm just summarizing it here. Okay, so here, let me read this to you first. I'm going to talk about all this. I want to get to everything here, but I want to read this section of my book, so I promised you that I would do that, and I want to make sure that do you like this? By the way, this, I don't know if you're watching this, you'll see this. This is the amber angel that is made in Lithuania. It's a very special thing. I use that as a bookmark anyway. It's a little necklace that you can wear, but it was given to me by a very special person, and I'm just keeping it here, and I used it as a bookmark because I didn't have anything else nearby in my studio here. But this is from my book, Reignited America. This is on page 9, and I'm going to read this as our context here, I guess. So this is an essay that I included as part of, I think it's the introduction, or what is it in my book? It's, the introduction. You're already reignited. So this is on page 9. It's an essay that I include. This is written by Alejandro Jodorowsky. And the title of this essay is, which he wrote, and I'm just including it in my book, If You Only Read One Message Today, Let It Be This. Okay, so this is his essay from Alejandro Jodorowsky. Their biggest mistake, they knew that the human collective was reaching a very high vibration. I want you to feel this. I want you to recognize your vibration, because you are that you. As the consciousness keeper, you are that rising boat, that rising tide, raising all boats. You are that rising tide, raising all boats. By you getting your life right, by you living your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma, by you making your life great and leading and empowering and inspiring and transforming, doing a little more today than you did before, everyone you are blessed to be connected with you, to have connected with you, you are raising the frequency of every one of us. You're raising your frequency. You're coming out of this situation that we're going to talk about very soon here. You're pulling yourself out, and you are pulling everyone connected with you. You're leading everyone connected with you out of the same boat, shall we say. Okay, let me read this again. Their biggest mistake, they knew that the human collective was reaching a very high vibration. So feel that happening right here. You are elevating your vibration right now, right here, and you're leading everyone. So post about this. I mean, absolutely. Pause and feel this. Breathe this in. breathe this in, breathe in God, remember, you are God's instrument for miracles in the world. You're like the hollow flute. And for that, I use this. This is like, think of this as like the hollow flute. I'm holding a small handheld flag in front of me, if you're just listening. And think of the shaft of the flag as being like a hollow tube. You're like that hollow tube for God to extend into the world. God, you are God's gift to the world. You are God's instrument for miracles. And if you think of the flute, like the hollow flute, it's called the shakuhachi flute, is the hollow flute in Japanese. And I love that visual because what is a flute other than an instrument with holes in it, like for God or the Holy Spirit to breathe into you, like through your in-breath. With each breath you're taking, you're connecting with God, you're receiving God, and then with each breath you are making, you are exhaling, you are extending God into the world, and that's what your whole life is about. Your whole purpose is to receive God. Your work, is to receive God. Your whole purpose is to extend God into the world, like the flute making beautiful music through God, breathing into that instrument or playing that instrument. So you're like the hollow flute, the tube with a few holes in it, and with those holes, your life is beautiful music. You are being of greater service to more people. That's what your purpose is, extending God. And what does that mean, extending love? What does that mean? Being of greater service to more people. So your purpose is making as much of a difference as you can to as many people as you can. And you're doing that right here. So consciously receive God with each breath you are taking, and that's how you are raising your frequency, and you're becoming very high vibration by doing that. And then by sharing this video, by posting about it in each of the posts you're making, linking back to, this podcast, it's better if you're doing this by video as part of my Operation Greatness chapter through operationgreatness.com/leader, where you are leading your own, and you're leading, inspiring, transforming, and liberating every one of your online friends and everyone in your community, your local area. Anyway, let's go back to this essay here because it has so much that we need to know about. They knew that the human collective was reaching a very high vibration, but they weren't aware of the amount of awake souls. They noticed the evaluation error, and they got scared. Now they don't hide anymore. They're doing this all in plain sight, because they saw that they could get away with all of this stuff, and people just went along with it. And there were those freedom fighters, those of us who pointed out that no, we do not accept this, but they became more emboldened and more desperate, quite honestly. Now they are in a hurry to officially launch a, quote, new world order. Okay, well, they have you and I and every one of us who are not complying with this. So remember, where you give your attention is where you're giving your power. So give none of your attention to fear. We're going to talk about that, so keep that in mind. Your duty to use your power to create everything that is your destiny, to create your purpose, your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma, why you are here, which is to be of greater service to more people. It's to use your power in a focused way to concentrate it and to create miracles, to move mountains and transform the world. That's what your purpose is. That's what you're doing right here through our Raising Humanity podcast. Really hear this. I'm getting chills here. Just seeing the transformation, the everlasting life transformation within you right here. Now their attacks are direct and frontal, and the attacks will increase, except don't give in to any fear. Don't give this any of your power. I'm just sharing this. Think about this as like the last 4 years. They will try by all means to keep people from waking up. It's already too late. They've already lost. You know that, you feel it, and this is where you are giving your power to raising your frequency, to being that raising tide, raising all boats. They will try by all means that the awake cannot communicate. Let me just read this again. They will try by all means that the awake cannot communicate so as to not wake up others. What that means is they're going to try to oppress you so that you cannot communicate with everyone else. I mean, like, for example, I have 182,000 some people following me on Twitter, and that means 182,000 people have requested that they receive my posts, and yet my average post is somewhere between 1 in 900 or 1 in 1,200 of those 182,000 people are getting my posts. So even on, quote, the free speech platform, is there really free speech when, like, the average post I make might get, sometimes it's 300 people seeing it out of 182,000, and sometimes it's like 135 people. That's like 99.9% oppression, except I'm not giving that my power, because this is the message that every one of us needs to see, and Facebook is pretty much the same. It might be worse. I mean, I've got like 5,000 followers on Facebook, and I don't know how many of them are seeing my posts, because they don't even tell me that. At least Twitter tells me how many people are able to see what I'm putting out there. So in other words, they will try by all means to prevent you from sharing your message so that others can awake as well. They will try by all means that the awakened are seen as insane or delinquents. So, I mean, absolutely make sure that you're sharing this message with every one of your online friends and leading them through this everlasting life transformation. It's not just a life transformational message, it's an everlasting life transformational message. And remember, we're going to talk about that more shortly, I think. I'm going to make sure to have time about that. Don't go into the light. I'm going to share that with you. Okay. So whatever they do, meaning evil, the globalists, the communists, the Satanists, the pedophiles, evil is what we want to call them, the parasites, the predators, whatever they do, it doesn't matter. The quantum leap has already occurred. It is unstoppable. Humanity already contemplates plants and animals as souls that animate them. Humanity already respects Mother Earth. Humanity already understands that there is no separation. The souls who are now incarnating already come as teachers. When I'm looking down, I'm reading the book. This is my Reignited America book. No more experimenting. They only incarnate to teach, to love. This is you here. You're only here. You're here as a teacher. You're here as a leader, as a visionary, inspired leader, to be more exact. You're here to lead, inspire, transform, and liberate, doing a little more today and being of greater service. You're here to transform the lives of every one of your online friends as well as everyone in your local area by leading your own Operation Greatness chapter through operationgreatness.com/leader. The souls who are now incarnating already come as teachers. They only incarnate to teach to love. We may be witnessing total change or not. Well, yeah, we've already been seeing the total change. We're doing it now. We're creating it now. This is the inauguration of our new lives as inspired visionary leaders, as consciousness, you as the consciousness keeper, you owning your power and creating only what gives you joy, inspires you, and moves you closer to your goals, desires, and dreams, with you giving none of your attention to anything you don't want, because you're only using your power as the master you are, as the consciousness keeper. This is your responsibility, and you're taking this very seriously every moment from this point moving forward. You're giving none of your power to anything you don't want. This transition could take a week or it could take 300 years, but it is unstoppable. Actually, it's instantaneous right now. Are you ready for this? Because you owning your power now and being determined to live and fulfill your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma, and honor your responsibility as the consciousness keeper. This is it. It's right now. It's right here. Ready, set, go. You are that person now, and you're never going to go back to being the old person where you're created, where you used to create things you didn't want by feeding that your power. No more, never again. You're too important. Your power is sacred because you are sacred. You're too important. You're God's gift to the world. Your life is God's gift to you, and what you do with that is your gift to God. You're never going to squander your power. You're never going to use it to create anything you don't want. You're focused. You're on fire. You're on purpose. You are the consciousness keeper. You are God's instrument for miracles in the world. You're leading everyone connected with you through owning their power and living their divine design, duty, destiny, dharma, just as you are doing now. It's a done deal. It's game over. No question about that. No fear, doubt, and worry anymore, ever again. No playing small anymore, ever again. Acknowledge that. Affirm that. Own that. This is you commanding your destiny now. You're on fire. You're that raising tide, raising all boats. You are the source of liberation for everyone in our human family. This is the higher purpose of your life. Nothing matters more than this. You know that. I'm getting chills here on my legs and my arms. You're feeling that yourself. So acknowledge that, affirm that, and create that. Never go back to the old way, because you have made your life great and you are the consciousness keeper for the world. You are the source of liberation for every one of us. You, yes you, this is how much you matter. This is how important your life is. This is your greatest contribution to the world. Own that, receive that, create that. I call it CAMAR, Kamar, create, attract, manifest, allow, and receive. That fully now, right here. Any questions? No, because you know this is it. This is the higher purpose. This is the purpose for which you are on the planet now. This is the higher purpose of social media and you having everyone connected with you, because you have the ability to reach them and lead, inspire, transform, and liberate every one of them. So you're doing that right now. You're leading everyone into this podcast so that they see this is how much they matter as well. And by you getting your 1,200 people joining your Operation Greatness chapter through operationgreatness.com/leader, by you being that inspired visionary leader yourself and you getting your 1,200 people to lead their own Operation Greatness chapters through your link, they're getting their 1,200 people, and you have transformed the lives of 1,440,000 people. I mean, how many people in history have had anywhere near that level of impact, and yet here you are doing it yourself, right here through this Operation Greatness podcast, Raising Humans. And then those 1,440,000 people, through your getting 1,200 people yourself, they're leading their chapters through your chapter. Those 1,440,000 people getting their 1,200 people. Now, my friend, you have transformed the lives of 1.72 billion people. This is your purpose. This is your destiny. This is why you are here on the planet. It's the higher purpose for your life. This is your reason for being. So honor this, live this, allow this, flow with this, receive this. I mean, how many people in all of human history have had anywhere near that level of impact as you, transforming the lives right here of 1.72 billion people? I can think of two people. One is Mahatma Gandhi, who transformed the lives or liberated 1 billion people in India when they got together through his inspiration, his focus, his guidance, his leadership, his example, and they expelled tyranny and created a free and independent India. 1 billion people, that's one person, Mahatma Gandhi. And Jesus, what did he do? He helped give everlasting life. We're going to talk more about that shortly, actually, to more than 1 billion people in the world. And yet now, so you're in good company, leading, inspiring, transforming, and liberating 1.72 billion people. Mahatma Gandhi, Jesus, and you. I mean, seriously, this is the power that you have. This is your purpose. You're here for this reason. This is the higher purpose of your life. You have that inner knowing, so create that. Lead your chapter and bring every one of your online friends to lead theirs. And then they are bringing every one of their online friends to lead theirs. And also lead everyone in your community into this message. We still have more of this. We're getting to the most important part right here of our essay from my book, Reignited America. We're on page 10 now. Whatever they do, it doesn't matter. The quantum leap has already occurred. It is unstoppable. Humanity already oh yeah, we read that part already. Okay. We respect Mother Earth. There is no separation. The souls who are now incarnating already come as teachers. Yeah, we read that too. You know that this is unstoppable, that you are unstoppable right here by leading your chapter and leading every one of your online friends to join your chapter and lead their own. You are unstoppable. Okay. Whatever happens during the transition, remember one thing. It was you who offered yourself to stay here and now. Whatever happens, whatever you see, you are the engine of change. Only one thing is required of you. Only one. This is key. I want you to really hear this message. Don't be food. It is the only thing you have to do. A simple thing. Don't be food. The human being is one of the most powerful generators that exists. You are the consciousness keeper. You are the most important. You are the most powerful generator that exists. You are the rising tide, raising all boats. You. Where you give your attention, you are giving your power. That's how you are creating your life and how we are creating your world. Master this. That's it. Don't be food. Master how you are creating your life by where you are giving your attention, because that's where you're giving your power, and that's how you are creating your life and how we are creating our world. We are whirlpools of power. You are God's instrument for miracles. Think of the hollow flute. Keep your focus on your purpose, on being of greater service to more people, on receiving God, that's your work, and extending God in the world. That's your purpose. Depending on the polarity you align to, you create high or low frequencies. These dark entities feed on low frequencies. We have been feeding them for millennia. The awakening of humanity has tilted the collective vortex toward high frequencies. This is why they are attacking with such ferocity. They are starving. Connect with your soul and watch yourself. Be very vigilant and responsible as the consciousness keeper about where you are giving your attention. Have no fear. Give none of your attention to anything you don't want, because that's what feeds these parasites. And I'm going to wrap this up with talking about the death trap at the end of our lives. Do not go into the light. Connect with your soul and watch yourself. If your soul resonates with these words, this is that inner truth detection system that you have. You know truth when you hear it. You just have the feeling, wow, I have to take this to heart. I have to take this seriously. It's imperative that I master how I am using my power in creating our life, because that's how we are creating our world. And he's right. I am the consciousness keeper. I am responsible for keeping my vision front and center. My power is sacred because I am sacred. I am God's instrument for miracles, after all. This is the fundamental duty that I have, to use my power wisely each moment. I'm going to take this very seriously. I'm going to master how I am using my power through where I'm giving my attention, and I'm going to create only what gives me joy, inspires me, and moves me closer to my goals, desires, and dreams, knowing with that being 100% of my focus, that's 100% of my power, and that's how I am creating my life as the consciousness keeper and as God's instrument for miracles. This is how I am meant to live, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to give that everything I have now and create only that, because that's what I'm here to do. And I cannot fail in this most critical mission that I have, because this means everything to me as well as to the world. I am the consciousness keeper, and I own that responsibility, and I'm going to fulfill that and be the inspired example of what's possible for everyone. Everyone. Starting with all of my friends now on social media, and through them, everyone connected with them. And I'm taking my responsibility, my gift, my blessing to be of greater service, and I'm going to transform every one of my online friends. I'm going to get at least 1,200 people joining my Operation Greatness chapter through operationgreatness.com/leader, and they're going to lead their chapters through my chapter. They're going to lead I'm getting at least my 1,200 people, but I'm going to get every one of my online friends. I'm going to get 10,000 people, and that's also through in my community. I'm going to lead everyone in my community through leading everyone connected with them online, as well as everyone that they can reach online and off. I'm going to get my 10,000 people who are getting their 10,000 people, because what is 10,000 times 10,000? Is that 10 million or billion? I don't know, 100, I don't know, whatever it is. And then they're going to get their 10,000 people. We're going to reach everyone on the planet. That's the bottom line here. 1.72 billion comes from just you getting your 1,200, getting theirs, and getting theirs. And yet, you're going to reach every one of your online friends and transform their lives, because this is the higher purpose for you being here. This is how much of a gift you are to the world. This is how much you matter. So, listen to yourself if your soul resonates with these words. Don't give it a second of your existence anymore to being food. Eliminate the low passions of your life: hatred, resentment, envy, fear, vices, junk foods, lies, ambition, selfishness, sadness, distrust. All of this generates dense energy. Food for the dark ones. Be aware of your emotions. And if on any occasion you feel in any of these low vibrations, you feel yourself into fear, for example, or if you, your body is the temple, so you would never feed it something that you know is harmful to you, right? Because that would just lower your frequency, right? If on any occasion you feel in any of these low vibrations, change your energy. Breathe in, breathe in. I call it breathe God, or breathe back, breathe back, breathe back, breathe back into being. Every time you breathe, you return to your center. So return to your center. Anytime you need to do that, if you ever lose your focus or get distracted or seduced or sucked into something outside of your center, which is where you are in communion with all of life, only in your center, breathe back into being. Breathe God. Put on some music that will lift you up. Sing, dance, breathe. Light incense. Hug your cats. Hug a friend. Hug your dog. Hug your mom. Embrace your pet family. Go for a walk in nature. Meditate. Exercise. Do whatever it takes, but energy changes immediately. Get back to your center. Always be aware. And the only thing that is asked of you is to not feed the dark hordes. Feed your soul with everything that helps you get up. Stay high frequency. You are God's instrument for miracles. You are the consciousness keeper. Own that responsibility every moment. It becomes easier and more natural the more you do it. So every time you are keeping your frequency high, raising your vibration, it's becoming easier because this is where you are meant to be. This is how you are required to live. Always be aware. If you get used to living, when you get used to this, I'm going to change the word there. Living in the frequency of love, your reality will change and your will change. Okay, let me read that again. When you get used to living in the frequency of love, your reality will change to your will without effort. Everything you want, you start creating because that's what you are feeding. You're not feeding the dark forces anymore. You are a powerful being. You're God's instrument for miracles. You are the consciousness keeper. You are unstoppable. Don't fear anything. Free your mind from the matrix. Focus your attention on what you want. Above all, have fun, be happy, smile, sing, dance, love. We are alive by loving everything, and you are part of it. You are instrumental in this. Together we are the stars and the sun, and to all the galaxies of the universe, you are love. How is this hitting you? Right between in the third eye? This is how you are destined to live your life. So be it. You are God's instrument for miracles. You are God's greatest gift. You are the consciousness keeper. So be it. This is your fundamental directive. This is your prime directive. Every moment from this point moving forward, I am the master of my emotions. I am treating myself as the gift to the world I am. I'm using my power purposefully and creating only what gives me joy, inspires me, and moves me closer to my goals, desires, and dreams. Knowing with that being 100% of my focus, that's 100% of my life experience. I am that rising tide raising all boats. I am being of greater service to everyone on the planet. I am the master of my power. My power is sacred because I am sacred. Nothing matters more than me mastering this. Okay, so let's just briefly talk about the context here of the death trap because these parasites, it's an energetic group of beings. I'll give you the link to this to this message that gives all the research on this in the show notes for this show. They feed off. Let's think of it as they have an energetic grid around planet Earth. They've been feeding off of our fear for millennia. They've created the structures of power to keep people from their power. Your power is beyond measure, and this is what we're living through OperationGreatness.com/leader. I'm walking you through owning your power and commanding your destiny. So, you know how this works. If you've seen The Matrix, I mean, it is that way. These parasites, they had been feeding off people's energy. And you know what the whole COVID fraud thing, I call it, what do I even call it? I don't know. I guess I haven't called it anything because it's powerless. And when we stop feeding it, it's powerless. It has no power over us. Remember, your power is beyond measure. You are God's instrument for miracles. You have the power to liberate the whole human race. And you've seen that by you being consciousness keeper and just getting your 1,200 people, getting their 1,200 people, getting their 1,200. You've transformed 1.72 billion people. This is the power you have. So live this. This is where you're giving your attention now. Anyway, so when you die, after you've lived your fulfilled life and you've unplugged yourself from this matrix, you're no longer being food. You're no longer feeding the parasites. You're keeping your energy high, and you're raising the vibration of everyone connected with you, allowing them to keep their energy high. So when you die and you see that tunnel and you see the white light, and you might even see God or Jesus or your loved ones, that's the death trap. These parasites, you can call them shapeshifters, they're astral beings, and they can shapeshift into anything. They can appear as, they're evil, they're dark. They can appear as anything that they want, like your mother or, whatever, or Jesus, and say, come with me into the light. No, what you say, that's a trap. That's think of the earth, remember, as being surrounded by this energy field that takes your life force, that feeds off of you living in fear, scarcity, lack. No, don't feed that any of your power while you're alive, but don't go back into that when you die. Instead, say, I wish to go home now. And that's where you're giving your attention, and that's where you're giving your power, and that's where you are going in the afterlife. That's where you are going. I wish to go home. Just those 4 words. I wish to go home. 5 words. I wish to go home. That's all you need to say, and then you leave the death trap. You don't fall for it, and even if remember, they're manipulators, they're parasites, they're predators, they feed off you. They did feed off you, no more, and especially in your death, you're no longer going to come back to this trap, this prison anymore. You're going home. I wish to go home. Remember those words. I wish to go home. 5 words, 5 fingers. I wish to go home. And that's where you go. Then you don't fall back into the death trap. That's how you end this prison. So, go back to the beginning of this. If you didn't take notes on everything, do that now. Post every one of the insights that I'm asking you to hear here. Do your research if you want. I'm sharing you the links to all of this. Go through as much as you want. Take your time. This is life everlasting life transformational. Hear this message, share it far and wide, lead your chapter through OperationGreatness.com/leader. Make sure every one of your online friends is hearing this message. Lead them through this message. It's best if you do this by video, and it's in our community, our Operation Greatness community that you're getting by you leading your own chapter. We can do this by video. Lead every one of your online friends through doing this themselves and joining your Operation Greatness chapter and leading their own Operation Greatness chapter also through operationgreatness.com/leader. This is the most important thing every one of us has ever done. We're unplugging from that matrix. We're no longer food for the predators, the parasites, the evil. We're saying no to this in our lives. Before America can be great or the world can be great, you have to make your life great and help everyone connected with you, and everyone is connected with you, make their lives great as well. And so they're joining your chapter, they are leading their own, and they're getting all of their online friends leading their own. That's how you have transformed 1.72 billion people. Or you're getting your 10,000 to get their 10,000 to get their 10,000, whatever that is, probably more than 10 billion people. Anyway, every one of us is now stepping up and owning our power and commanding our destiny. Nothing matters more than this. This is the monumental turning point in human history. This is happening because of you. You are responsible for liberating humanity. So take all the posts that you've made, put them into the essay that you're sending me from this conversation, and send that to me at dan@danclatt.com. Your link to lead your chapter is operationgreatness.com/leader. What was this to you? How much did this mean to you? How much do you know you have to do this? Because nothing matters more than all of us doing this now. Let me know in the thoughts that you're sending me. Post extensively about this in our Operation Greatness community, which is also through operationgreatness.com/leader. You are the inspired visionary leader. Everything hinges on you doing this yourself and bringing everyone connected with you through doing this. Don't be food. You are the consciousness keeper. Live that. Fulfill that. Achieve that. This is your higher purpose. It's why you are on the planet now. This is how much you matter, how much your life is meant to be the gift for all of humanity. You are God's gift to the world. Breathe in all of this. Take your time. We're all here helping you, serving you, and supporting you in fulfilling your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma, being of greater service to every one of us on the planet. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it.